Hello everyone, welcome to the Witching Hour. If you're new here, my channel revolves around discussing fantasy and science fiction shows and movies. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Today I'll be doing a review and recap of the Netflix series The Witcher Season 1, Episode 7, titled Before a Fall. Be forewarned that this video will contain spoilers. If you have not watched this episode, you might want to do so before watching this video. One thing I like about this episode is that I think it was the first episode that was a little bit easier for people to understand that we're having problems with the 3 timelines. It also gives us the point of view of Geralt during the battle at Cintra. We are also let in on what Queen Calanthe said to Mousak during the fall of Cintra, shortly before she threw herself out the window. I think that moment of introspection on the part of Queen Calanthe was much needed for that character. To be honest, she was condescending and self-righteous during most of her scenes. It was a relief to see her let go of her hubris and show a smidge of humility. I only have a few gripes about the episode. The first one is my biggest complaint. It's the shortest episode of the season. I felt like we needed more of Geralt's escape and his search for Ciri. I definitely don't think that we should have shortened Ciri or Yennefer's scenes, but if they would have extended the episode to 1 hour, which is the average length of the other episodes, they could have given us a more detailed view of Geralt's time during the collapse of Cintra. The other complaints are small, and they are costuming issues. Not going to beat the Nilfgaard dead horse again, but I do want to mention that Fringilla has one of the most unflattering costumes of any female in the series. I think a potato sack would have been more appealing. Many people might be shocked to hear me say this, but I didn't like Yennefer's dress either. It looked like someone took a white dress and then applied vinyl cutouts to it. You know, the kind that people put decals on their coffee mugs? Those. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. King Ice losing his sense of honor was a little hard to stomach. It felt a little bit like Jon Snow losing his mind with his "she is my queen" bullshit. It might be hard for some people to understand, but you can love and admire someone and still have a spine. Now, on to the recap. I will be saving Ciri's timeline for last because chronologically, her timeline is the current timeline. For Geralt's timeline, we have entered the time where we began with Ciri. Geralt watches the Nilfgaard army marching to their next conquest, which happens to be before the Battle of Cintra. He goes to meet with Mousak to ensure that his child surprise is safe and sound. He didn't even realize the child was a girl. He also didn't know that her parents were lost at sea. Mousak is curious as to the sudden interest, and Geralt tells him that there was an army marching nearby. They are interrupted by Queen Calanthe's men that make it known they are not there for a tea party. Geralt holds Mousak at knife point, which forces Mousak to portal them out of there or they would both die. Queen Calanthe's Queensguard are advising her about Nilfgaard army when an irritated Geralt and a reluctant Mousak show up. She is visibly shaken at the sight of Geralt, but she's her normal arrogant self. He tries to tell her that he will protect Ciri and bring her back unharmed, but Queen Calanthe is so stubborn she decided to trick Geralt and try to pass off a girl from town as her granddaughter. I guess she failed to learn her lesson about destiny the first time. He is led down a passageway and sees the real Princess Ciri outside playing with her friends. He confronts Queen Calanthe, and she again acts like the pompous ass that she is. She dismisses his concerns about Nilfgaard and warnings of fighting destiny. King Ice escorts Geralt out, and he even loses his common sense and honor. He denies destiny and places his life in the hands of Queen Calanthe. Evidently, the dinner party from 12 years ago is a distant memory that they failed to learn from. I mean, at the end of the day, she is my queen. And their dumbasses lock Geralt up during the chaos of the Battle of Cintra. Geralt is able to knock out a guard, take his keys, and escape. So for much of this episode, we are re-watching scenes from the first episode. Queen Calanthe accepts that she was wrong for denying destiny, again, and tells Mousak that Geralt is locked up. He thinks that by freeing Geralt and bringing him to Ciri, destiny will be restored. But it's too late for that because Geralt is free from a cell. He searches for Ciri and while hiding behind something hears a thud. He moves to look and sees the dead body of Queen Calanthe. From the trail of dead Nilfgaard soldiers, you can tell that Geralt has been busy. He captures a soldier and offers to let him live if he tells him where Ciri is. But all the soldier says are the utterings of a religious zealot, to which Geralt stabs him in the throat. Now we're going to change it up, and we're going to go to Yennefer. Yennefer sees Istrid. They hang out in a bar together, kiss, talk, and then he tells her that he was obsessed with her for a long time, but in the end, he was just sorry that she chose power over him. He leaves after their emotional conversation. She is then approached by a mage named Vigilforts. He tells her that Tissaia sent him and they need her help. Yennefer goes to Aretusa with Vigilforts and quickly finds out that he brought her there under false pretenses and that Tissaia did not send for her. She storms off and goes to her old room, where there's a group of girls. She proceeds to be a bad influence and teaches them to trip on herbs. But while they are tripping, they tell her that Aretusa is taking money from rich families to let their daughters come there. She takes them to where her classmates were transformed into eels to be used as conduits of power for Aretusa, and shows them what may very well happen to them. Tissaia shows up and puts an end to it. Mages start pouring into Aretusa, one of which is Triss. She explains to Yennefer that it is an emergency conclave of the northern mages. Mages from all around the north are arguing over how to deal with Nilfgaard. Some don't care if they attack Cintra, others are concerned that once they conquer Cintra, they will move on. Fringilla enters and tries to tell them that their fight is with Cintra and only Cintra. She explains that they follow the White Flame and that there is no such thing as dark or light magic. The conclave takes a vote and the decision is made to let Cintra fend for themselves. Immediately after the meeting, Tissaia tries to convince Yennefer to join a smaller group of mages in the fight against Nilfgaard. And we are finally to Ciri's timeline. Ciri enters a new town and almost immediately meets a nice lady by the name of Zola. After Ciri wanders around for a while, she runs back into Zola, who offers to let her come stay with her family. And Princess Ciri repays her by stealing her horse. Later, Ciri is chilling by a fire talking to her stolen horse when some angry Cintrans come after her and threaten to sell her to Nilfgaard. She goes into this trance-like state and says, "Verily, I say unto you, the era of the sword and axe is nigh, the era of the wolf's blizzard. The time of the white chill and the white light is nigh, the time of madness and time of contempt." And that is pretty much where the episode ends. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Also, if you have any ideas of any shows or movies you'd like me to do a video on, please let me know down below. Have a great day.